have to hold this.
Nope.
All right. Am I coming through loud and clear? Great. So today, I'm going to take about 10 minutes to introduce you to the Zero Waste International Alliance and the Grassroots Recycling Network, brief you on the ZIWA definition of zero waste, the ZIWA Zero Waste Business Principles, as well as the brand new Zero Waste Hierarchy of Highest and Best Uses. We're going to talk about the ZIWA's National Affiliate Program, what's the difference between recognition and certification, and talk a little bit about the ZIWA and CRRA Zero Waste Business Recognition requirements. So, how many of you are familiar with ZIWA? All right. How many are familiar with CRRA? All right. So, we're going to learn something. So, ZIWA is an international group of individuals, nonprofits, agencies, institutions, and businesses working toward a world without waste. Membership includes more than 50 organizations and many individuals from every continent except Antarctica. How many continents are there?
7.
Well, Wikipedia said 6, but either way, we have people from Asia, North America, South America, Africa, Australia, and Europe. Grassroots Recycling Network is a network of U.S. waste reduction activists and recycling professionals promoting zero waste. I'm not going into a great deal of detail on CRRA today, since the focus is on the Business Recognition Program. ZIWA was established in 2003 after a series of international dialogues were held starting in 2002. Its purpose is to promote positive alternatives to landfill incineration and to raise awareness of the social and economic benefits of regarding waste as a resource base for jobs and business opportunities. Over time, the growing and changing planning group developed the only internationally peer-reviewed definition and a series of principles which you now will be introduced to. So the definition. Can somebody quickly give me a definition of zero waste that rolls off the tongue? It's not easy. But this is the first, excuse me, I'm leashed. This is the first peer review where a large number of people around the globe put a great deal of time into defining this definition. There is a committee working to enhance it a bit at this time, but basically it has 3 concepts. And, or 3, what shall I call them? I'll summarize it. All discarded materials are resources. Resources should not be burned or buried. The goal is zero air, zero water, and zero land emissions. So this is the overall definition put together by the ZIWA planning group. Zero waste is a goal that is ethical, economical, efficient, and visionary to guide people in changing their lifestyles and practices to emulate sustainable natural cycles where all discarded materials are designed to become resources for others to use. Zero waste means designing and managing products and processes to systematically avoid and eliminate the volume and toxicity of waste and materials, conserve and recover all resources, and to not burn or bury them. Implementing zero waste will eliminate all discharges to land, water, or air that are a threat to planetary, human, animal, or plant health. Now that I've shuffled all the pieces of paper, give me a moment to straighten it out. So, ZIWA, the same planning committee, which at this point has 50 different people involved, came up with these principles for businesses. That there's a commitment to the triple bottom line. They all use the precautionary principle. In other words, do no harm, and if you're not sure there's no harm, don't do it. Zero waste to landfill and or incineration. Take responsibility for your products. Buy, reuse, recycled, and composted. Prevent pollution and reduce waste. Stick to the highest and best use. use economic incentives for all of stakeholders. Products or services are not wasteful or toxic, and that you use non-toxic production, reuse, and recycling processes. So that was 2005. Just this year, the group chose to take it a step further and to come up with a hierarchy of the highest and best uses. And you may recall highest and best use means that when you have a material that you're recycling, you try to recycle it at its highest and best use. So an example of high-grade white paper should be segregated, or could be segregated from mixed paper, so you get the highest and best benefit from it. So this is the brand new, as of March, list of highest and best uses: reduce, refuse, and return, end subsidies for wasting, product and packaging redesign, clean production and takebacks, reuse, repair, and remanufacture, recycle, compost, and digest, regulate, utilize bans, biological energy recovery, and landfill pre-processing. And I'm the one who rephrased this last one. Basically, it's not okay to incinerate or to use bioreactor landfills. Okay. So around the same time, 2005, they developed the zero waste business principles. They developed the Zero Waste Business Recognition Program, which provides a framework for national organizations to recognize this business keeping with the ZEWA principles and definition. This means that an entity, a nonprofit group in a country can develop a recognition program based on the program that ZEWA has developed, and only one organization can be accredited in each country, but that organization can work with other organizations in that country under their oversights and guidelines. So it's a system that is highly structured but flexible. So if you have a country where there's a number of people interested in the topic and wanting to work on this, they can, but the structure makes it so that people can't go too far out left field. But if there's only one, that one has a certain amount of control. And Gary will explain why this is more important later. Why this is important later, to be so highly structured and organized. So GRRN is the first ZEWA affiliate, the U.S. affiliate, and so GRRN was authorized by ZEWA to create a business recognition program. The program requires participating organizations to complete an application and to formally submit their published corporate sustainability materials or environmental reports to an expert as designated by GRRN. Now this begs the question is, what is the difference between recognition and certification? Recognition is sort of like, you give us your materials, we're going to review what you've been doing, and if it seems that our designated expert feels that you meet the requirements of someone who's moving towards zero waste, you will be recognized. Whereas certification is a much more rigorous audit of all relevant systems, and that includes site visits and interviews. So recognition is give us your material, we'll review it very carefully. If we have questions for you, we'll talk to you about it, and if you meet our requirements, we will recognize you as an entity moving towards zero waste, or possibly having reached zero waste, but within a sort of a self-reporting system where certification is much more rigorous. Recognition is the first step of certification, and I believe that Stephanie will be explaining more in detail about what the various different levels of certification could be or will be, and what that's based on. I believe the U.S. Green Business Council. Yes, okay. So to be recognized as moving towards zero waste or being a zero waste business, you have to have a corporate zero waste policy. You have to have documented 90% diversion or better. You have to be in compliance with local, regional, and national regulations for your industry. You have to be working on continuous improvement. So in other words, if you're at 90%, we need to know that you're working toward 91 and 92, 98. And that you have are phasing out burning. You make an effort to publish your initiatives so that you're motivating others to move in this direction. And that every year you're willing to provide information to GRRN or the affiliate, national affiliate involved to prove that you will continue on this journey. Now, I have a few minutes for questions now, am I correct? Okay, I could go into more detail on these items, but I'd rather get questions from you and perhaps put some of them in parking lot for the others that are speaking today. But this information is available both on the GRN website and the ZWA website. I also brought some of the forms that we developed for the preparation forms for organizations interested in having either one location, one region, or one corporate entity recognized as moving towards zero waste. These are available on the website. I'm going to hand them out now mostly for your current perusal, but you're also welcome to take one if you really need one. Oh, I did it again. I'm sorry. I'm not used to being leashed. Okay, what questions do I have? I did such a good, oh, okay.
Hey, Portia. I was a little, well, frankly, I don't like part of the definition of zero waste because it says that to guide people in changing their lifestyles and practices. You know, with EPR, it's about corporate responsibility. So was there a reason why the phrase institutions was not included with that? Because I don't think we're about trying to change 7 billion people.
I think this is a very good point. And there is a committee on right now with ZWA working on reworking this to that purpose. So we're welcome information, and if you'd like to join the committee, you're welcome. Both ZWA and GRN are not membership groups where you pay a fee, you just get involved. So if anybody's interested in getting involved and would like to discuss this, first of all, it's kind of grammatically odd. And in this day and age, we should be able to come up with something that rolls off of people's tongues. So I invite you to join Mary Lou Van Devender, Anna Cavallo, and myself in rewriting this definition. And I have a whole collection of other definitions that we can work with too.
Accepted.
Are there any institutions that would label themselves zero waste or close to it?
Yes.
Quite a few, and you'll be hearing more about that shortly. And if you would introduce yourselves when you ask questions, it makes it more fun for the speakers. So introduce yourself.
Alex from Santa Monica College.
I'm Bruce Olszewski from San Jose State.
Karen Gisel, City of Sunnyvale. Are you going to talk at all about the difference between the Green Business Program and this certification?
No, but that's a very good question, because in my collection of zero waste initiatives, Green Business Certification is a very important part of this process. And I have to tell you that this form that you're seeing is based on my Green Business Certification that I did for Sonoma County 5 or 6 years ago. But it is something that we need to address more because it's a stepping stone as well. And some Green Business Certification programs don't deal with waste, and some do. I believe the Green Business Program, the 9 area counties Green Business Program does, but other programs don't. So that's something to be dealt with.
Just as further clarification, Gary lists, the green business programs have recycling, solid waste issues, but not zero waste. So this is taking it to the next step. The zero waste message is, as a base, you have to be at 90% diversion from landfills, incineration, and the environment. And that's the key thing. So this complements green business certification programs. It would be wonderful for anyone involved with green business programs to encourage their businesses to apply to be certified as zero waste businesses if they're over the 90% diversion.
Any additional questions? On that note, I'll give this back to you, and I'll also give this to you.
Thank you, Portia. Next up,